Hello students, I hope you all are safe. This is Rabia here, and in today's class under the chapter Control and Coordination, let us discuss a topic on hormonal system in animals. Students, you have learnt in your previous class about the nervous system where the brain and the spinal cord controls and coordinates the stimulus received by the external environment. But the nervous system will send the signals only to the cells which it is attached to. For example, here you can see there is a girl who is touching an hot object. When she touches, the signal is passed through the sensory neuron to the neurons in the brain, and then it is brought back in the form of an electric impulse to the motor neuron to the cell which has received the impulse, and then it suddenly lifts. So only the cells which receives the stimulus gets the electric impulses through the neuron, through this nervous system which the cells are connected to. But students, there are other cells which is not connected to the nervous tissue. Now how about these cells? How are they getting the information about the external stimulus? So to know about that, we have a very interesting system in a body which is known as hormonal system. Students, in hormonal system, the cells which are not connected to the nervous system or the neurons receives the chemical stimulus. Observe this particular diagram. There are some cells which get stimulated. So once the cell stimulated, it will release a chemical. So this is the blue dots which you are able to see here. These are some of the chemicals which has been secreted or released by a stimulated cell. Now this chemical will go and target the cell which is having a receptor on its surfaces, and this target cell do not have the neurons attached to it or the nervous system attached to it. So but this chemical will provide it with the information. And students, observe this particular cell. This cell doesn't have any receptor on its surface, so the chemicals will not come and attach to it because they lack the receptors. So only the targeted cell with the receptors will be attached with the secreted chemicals. So this is how the mechanism functions with the cells which do not have the nervous system attached to it. To know more about this hormonal system, students, you must understand two terminologies. So one is the gland and the other one is the hormones. Now coming to glands. Observe this particular image, students. So glands are nothing but it has some cells or the group of cells with the tissues. See here. So these are a group of cells or the tissue. So these cells will secrete some substances, and that is your chemicals. So glands are nothing but group of cells which will secrete some specific substances in the body. Now coming to the types. When you see the types of the glands, there are two. One is the exocrine gland and the other one is the endocrine glands. Let us learn about the exocrine glands first. Observe this particular image. Here you can see there are a group of cells, and these cells will secrete the chemicals into this particular duct or a tube. And later, see here, it has an opening, and through this opening the chemicals will be released out. So whenever the chemicals or some substances are released into the duct or a tube, this type of a gland is called as the exocrine gland. Coming to the next one, endocrine gland. Students, observe this particular diagram now. Here there are a group of cells, and these cells will secrete the hormones directly into the bloodstream. Here there are no ducts or a tube into which the hormones are released, but it is released directly into the blood capillaries, and hence this is also known as ductless glands. So endocrine glands, these glands do not have any ducts and they secrete the product directly into the bloodstream. So this is the basic differences. Here you will have a better clarity, students. So this is an exocrine gland and this is an endocrine gland. In exocrine gland, all the chemicals are secreted into a duct. Here you don't see any duct. One more important thing which you should remember is, in exocrine glands only some chemicals are released, but in your endocrine glands hormones are secreted. In exocrine glands no hormones are secreted, only chemicals are secreted, students, and in your endocrine glands hormones are secreted. Coming to the endocrine system now, students, there are various glands in our body, and that is your endocrine glands. So when all the endocrine glands combine together and produces various hormones, that entire system is called as the endocrine system. Observe this particular diagram now. This is our endocrine system, where the pituitary gland, which is present in the brain, the thyroid gland, which is present near this neck region, then the pancreas, the adrenal gland, and coming to the testicles in the male, which produces the testosterone hormone, and in the ovaries estrogen and progesterones are secreted, and in the thymus all the antibodies are secreted, and this is the pineal gland which is present in the brain. So when all these glands perform various functions by secreting some kind of a hormones in the body, and they have to function according to their own requirement. So when the entire gland, the entire system, this system is known as the endocrine system. Now till now you learnt about the system. Let us see some examples. See here now. So this is the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, which is located in this thymus region, students, near the brain. And coming to your adrenal gland, so above the kidney you can see these structures, a cap kind of a structure. This is your endocrine. This is your adrenal gland, which is coming under endocrine system. Look at this. This is your thyroid. Thyroid hormones will be secreted. So here, this is your parathyroid region, and this is your thyroid region, which is secreting the hormones. And look at this particular image now. Here you can see how the tears are flowing. So here from the lacrimal gland, the tears will just come out. So only when you are emotional it will not. Sometime whenever a dust falls into your eyes also, this becomes active. Okay, here in this you can see that the chemical, that's your tear, is secreted into a duct. So this is your exocrine example. So this 1, 2 and 3, that's your pituitary and hypothalamus.